Okay, so today, this is a very special 1 hour that I'm gonna have a live chat with a very dear friend and a lovely what do you call life coach, therapist, one of my first therapists I ever went to for help. And Hari Priya is here today to talk to us, and she couldn't wait to come live because this is her first live, and this is my live with her, with my first therapist. So I'm too excited. Mm. Oh my God! Oh my God! Look who is here!
Hi,
Hi!
Ellie.
First therapist I ever went to, if you don't remember. This was years ago in your Kolaba place, in your house, not even your friend's house.
Yeah.
And and this is your first live, and I'm so excited. And
True,
this is
true.
probably the first ever that I have gotten ready because I was excited because you are excited. And I wore like a full dress and I wore a bra in like 4 months for the first time. I'm like,
God.
okay, we're gonna get ready and go. So yeah,
Yeah.
no cheating. I'm wearing a full dress. So so yeah, so this is our live, and what we're going to talk about is basic things like how these times have been so difficult, and I like how you make those small videos where you talk of different mudras and things that really help, or things that you've always told me, like little things like be positive, think positive,
Yeah.
and there are cute little things that you keep sending. Haripriya is such a good therapist. Yes, she is, Madhuri. Yeah, you definitely she is. So, well, let's start with basic things like whatever you want to start with, because there are a lot of people who feel there's a taboo against depression, there's a taboo against anxiety, there's a taboo against going for help and asking for, mental health
Right.
or whatever. So, you
Yeah.
could start from wherever you want because we just need
Okay.
to create awareness for now.
Sure. I think what you said is a right thing or the best way to start because we have a physical body and that's the only body that's visible. But we
Yeah.
forget that we have a mental body, we have an emotional body, we have an energetic
Hmm.
body, and they are
Yeah.
all equal partners. They are as
Hmm.
important and valuable as our physical body, and they require as much care as we are
Hmm.
giving the physical body. So just like we don't hesitate to go to a doctor when we have even a cough that's going on for 3 4 days, or you
Hmm.
have started feeling some pain somewhere, and even after 2 3 days it's not going, we don't feel bad, there's no stigma, we don't hesitate in fact to take the
Hmm.
earliest appointment, let's go check it out. So even
Hmm.
when something happens with our mental body or emotional body, why don't we have that kind of ease? Why should
Yeah.
there be a stigma because it's not visible? Like you can't
Hmm.
see the pain, you can't, see the discomfort that's there. I think now we've moved on because how much information is out there and there's so much awareness. People are
Hmm.
really valuing health. And health today is
Hmm.
not just physical health, it's mental health, emotional health, energetic health. So I
Hmm.
think now that stigma phase is kind of moving out. I,
Hmm.
I still come across the hesitation. Like
Yeah.
itna bada hai kya that I have to go take help, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And the more there is an imbalance we can sense. And I also say,
Hmm.
feelings like feeling anxious or anxiety, fears, even feeling low or what we call depressed.
Hmm.
It's part of our emotional bank. Like we all need that variety of emotions in life, otherwise we'll get
Yeah.
bored just smiling and laughing, right? So they're all part of our emotional bank. However, if let's say an anxious state or a low phase has gone on for 2 weeks or more,
Hmm.
okay, that's when we realize, okay, I think I need to talk to somebody, preferably professional help, find
Hmm.
out from friends, get a reference, because I've not noticed 9 out of 10 times people go to somebody when it is an experience they've had with that person and there is a
Yeah.
reference. I
Yeah.
just feel a very small percentage who will just Google and find somebody.
Yeah.
So I think that's what people can be aware of, that if there is
Yeah.
something that's lingering for more than 2 weeks, just like the ease with which you go to a doctor or a professional of that area, reach out to
Hmm.
somebody and explore. Like do that
Right.
one session and see, maybe it just is something that will get sorted out, maybe it needs more deeper stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I
True.
feel, we need to put out there way more.
Yes. Also, I feel like I'm so happy that right now so many people are coming out like Sanctuary of Life, which is your page. And there are many more different people who actually come out and offer help for free. Because the thing is, when
Absolutely.
you talk of therapy, people are like, oh no, it's going to be expensive. Oh no, I don't think I can afford it. But my question is like you keep asking, right? Like, do you really want that change? Do you really want
Yeah.
to get out of that space of being a
Yes.
victim? Because I
Correct.
catch myself a lot of times, I feel
Mm.
sad and I'm like, I'm liking this feeling sad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to come out of it. So I don't
Yeah.
want to go for therapy. All that is
Yeah.
cool. But when you say, and when I tell people, I say, you're liking your misery. They're like, no, why will I like my misery? I'm like, but somewhere subconsciously you do. So
Yeah.
how do you kind of slowly and steadily come out of it? Like the three mudras that you've already put on your page, like if people do not know, go follow Sanctuary of Life right now and see those different small chotu videos which actually help you. And the sleep mudra, the Shakti mudra that you taught is it's just it kind of takes off all the stress that one is going through.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, sure, please get out. Don't feel like, oh my God, how do I get out and get help? The idea is not to ask the question if I can afford it. The idea is, can I afford to let go of my feeling sad
Absolutely.
and feeling
Yeah.
victimized? This anxiety, how do you deal with that? Like on
Right.
before I get to a session with Haripriya or with anybody, how does
Right.
one deal with that basic anxiety at home?
Yeah. So I'm going back to your first question when you started off. There's a little post I had also put up in Instagram saying, if your peace and harmony is tipped, whatever is tipping it is too expensive. You know,
Okay.
there's no value to how much you would give to have or know how to maintain your inner balance and harmony. And a lot of times, I mean, I've had even doctors speak about the fact that India is one of the few countries where the cost for therapy or intervention is really less. Any
Mm-hmm.
other country we were living in, it's a bomb that you have to pay. And very often it doesn't, I think, get covered with insurance. Not
Yeah.
everything gets covered. So there are, like you said, it's not only a conventional session. There is so much information out there, so many videos out there. When one
Mm.
is going through something specific, of course, you need that very individualized attention
Mm.
and someone to really hear you out. There may be 100,000 cases of anxiety, but every case is a different story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the question that you asked about anxiety, what was that again?
Is if you like when people like me, I can actually see the anxiety coming. I see it creeping on me.
Yeah,
So how
yeah,
does one deal with that? Like the first step that you
yeah.
kind of, first acknowledge that there's anxiety,
Yes.
and how do you kind of get yourself back to like just breathing
Right.
normal to zero?
Right. So the minute you are, I think that's, a lot of the focus that used to be outside, thanks to COVID, now has forced us to focus a lot inwards. So I
Yeah.
think people are becoming more aware of what's happening inside and more tuned to themselves, because now
Mm.
that's the person they are left with very
Mm.
often. So when you're aware that there is some anxiety and it's increasing, right?
Mm.
Like I shared before, feeling anxious is normal. So we shouldn't feel anxious that I'm feeling anxious. Like feeling
Yeah.
anxious
Yeah.
is another emotion. Telling yourself, okay, I'm feeling anxious now. It's increasing, and it's
Mm.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Which is that movie of Amir Khan in that I Am Ahmedabad, where he says, the heart gets very scared
All
and
is
he
well.
says,
Three
all
idiots.
is well, all is well.
Yeah. Yeah.
बहुत डर जाता है इसलिए मेरे को बार बार बोलना पड़ता है all is well. So I think the first acknowledgement, this part that is getting anxious needs is from you to acknowledge that, yeah, we are getting anxious and it's all right to be anxious right now.
Mm.
Now, anything. So if I can, I place my phone today on the same table which I have when I do my online sessions, and my table is always filled with little placards I have made, because now that I don't get to sit in front of the client, otherwise I draw diagrams and give them the sheets. I make these little placards and keep, so I can hold it on and they either take a screenshot or I take a photograph. So if I can just hold up this and show you
Yeah, but
anything
I
that's
think it's
happening, is it
yeah.
clear?
Yeah, but
So
it's mirror
anything
image,
that's
so it's okay.
Yeah. So anything that's happening outside Oh, it's a mirror image. Yeah, right.
But that's okay.
Uh,
That's okay. Yeah.
yeah, anything that's happening outside, a life event or something somebody said, or, our eyes have picked up some information, our ears have heard something, and that has created a whole lot of thoughts in our head, which as it increases is now creating that feeling which we call anxiety, right? So if you
Can you
look
can
at
you
it,
repeat? Can you repeat what you said, because it got the internet was a
okay,
little.
got loop. So whenever,
Yeah.
and let me hold this diagram, maybe it'll help. Whenever there is some event that has happened, or our eyes have looked at something, our ears have heard something, and now there are thoughts that have started cooking up in our head about that. Okay, which in this diagram, let's say we call it the not working for you thoughts. So I don't look at this sleeping line as negative and this a plus as a positive. I look at this is not working for you, this is working for you. Okay, so every dynamics that happens within our space starts with a thought.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very important. I'm really glad sessions like this happen, because it's very important for every person. You don't have to be a professional to know how the inner part of us works. And you know yourself, you are in that space. Only some bits of information you require, and that itself eases out this whatever is happening with it. So there is a thought which has started happening, and it has increased into multiple thoughts which make you feel like this.
Yeah.
So I think nature has given us the best gift. We can start by using that is the minute you realize you're becoming anxious, tense, worried, just take a deep breath and with your mouth, breathe it out. Okay? Breath is a beautiful gift which is not just to take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Everything that we have in our space, if there are any energies which are not a contribution, not useful for us, which, like I said, is messing with our balance and harmony, just blow it out. It is just energy. A thought is just an energy wave. An emotion is just an energy wave. So, right at the initial bit, when we just take a few breaths and breathe out, move away from whatever you must have been facing somebody and just excuse yourself, whatever the situation is, and you're moving out and you're just doing first saying, it's okay, I'm feeling anxious and now I'm doing something about it. And you're using the breath to breathe out. And as you're doing this physical breathing out or blowing out, start becoming aware of what are the thoughts I'm having now. Because thoughts are such light energy. You're having 10 thoughts before you realize, oh my God, I'm thinking, So just be aware of what are the thoughts I'm having? Like, what am I worrying about? And very often you will catch that thought of worry is actually an illusion. Because things like worries or a fear that must have come up, which is creating the anxiety, they're all about the future. Because we know we don't have to worry about the past, it's over. We don't have fears about the past because we know it can't do anything. Okay? Your present is the breath you're taking. So then what are your thoughts about? They're about the future. And the future is a time that hasn't come.
Yeah.
So these are thoughts which are actually illusions. They are not real. Sometime back when I was having this discussion with a client, I made a post which is there on my Instagram page, which is using FEAR as an acronym. Okay, it's forget everything and run, which is normally what we do. We try to avoid things mentally, emotionally, or physically avoid it. Another acronym is false evidence appearing real. Okay, when this thought came, it appears real, but we have to remind ourselves that it's not yet come. I don't know. So why am I thinking in this manner about what is to come? Versus I can think in this way also. If I have to think about the future, I can choose what to think. Because this thought also has no basis. It's about the future. You will never know what
Can
happens.
I cut you there? Can I cut you there?
Sure.
There are a lot of my friends who are like, you know what? If there is something that's good, it will be great. But I am preparing for the worst. So they start thinking of like this very dear friend who usually is my bouncing board, and I talk to. He is the one who usually says, you know what? I prepare for the worst. I prepare for the worst. So, what do we do with that? Also,
Yeah.
Madhuri will come to that question soon about the bank balance and money diminishing, and I'm sure Haripriya has a lovely answer to that.
So this is a perception we hear a lot, that
Hmm.
I'd rather prepare myself for the worst because all the
Hmm.
other things I know I can handle. But what I want to bring to your awareness is, are you aware of how much time you are spending preparing for something that may not come, and it will still have the same effect on our body and our space when it actually happens? 9 out of the 10 preparations that we are making, those things are not going to happen. And this is a medically proven fact that, even if the mind is visualizing, the body starts getting all the effects of it. The heart will start racing, your, pulse goes up, the eye pupils, your muscles tense. There's so much. And when the physical body is under tension, the mind is not going to be relaxed. It's not going to be ease. And then we wonder, why am I getting so anxious for no reason? So it's important for us to check, what am I engaging in? Okay. And to counter that, do we really need to prepare for the worst?
Hmm.
Because we, as a being, a human being, or as a soul, they say we have brought every resource we need for our journey. If there's strength we require to face what is to come, we have brought it with us. If
Hmm.
there is, resilience, if there are certain skills, if there is certain awareness or knowledge, potentials we need, it is all there. So I have a little diagram to kind of share with you. This is, let's say, this is our diagram, where this circle with an S is that you.
Yeah.
That is the real being. This body is just a very small part of you. That is the real person. Okay.
Hmm.
So we have to look and reflect on, what is it that I think I am? Some lowly, pathetic mortal or what? And we have enough proof in our past to show how we have faced things with strength, how we have faced things. When
Hmm.
it came up in our face, we hadn't prepared for it, we hadn't practiced it, but we still faced it. We came up with some resolutions. There was some amazing angel who supported us, helped us. It happened, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
why don't we rely on the energy of trust rather than the energy of fear? Right? Like, again, there's a very cute, I mean, what you're saying is something in almost every person's space that comes up. Why do we have to go to these two buckets, the worry and the fears? Why can't we focus on this one?
Trust.
you know
Yeah.
trust in ourselves, trust in our potential, trust in our awareness that when the timing comes, my entire team of my mind and heart and body will all be geared, and yeah, we'll be on top of it.
Yeah.
Why am I not having that trust? And those few times of life, or many times in life, when we have to face those situations, that itself is quite a big deal. Why am I spending so much of other time जब सब कुछ ठीक है, putting myself through all that? इसके लिए
Yeah.
preparation or practice की जरूरत नहीं. Because have we noticed that even though we prepared and practiced, when that event hits us, it shows up in a different way than we visualized. It shows up with
Hmm.
different challenges that we may not have practiced. तो वो
Yeah.
practice का फायदा क्या हुआ? Like, it went waste, right? But we put yourself through that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
that's what
think.
I would like to respond with to this. So, and to answer your friend's question, I'd also leave you with some information. Very often, this is the real me,
Hmm.
right? But when we go through life, we have picked up a lot of effects and hurt and trauma and belief systems. It's easier to think negatively than positively, so we tend to go there. We have picked up so much of the conditioning that it's like this gift wrapping that now we have around us. That's why I've color coded it with yellow, right? But this is the not me. This is the real me. So if we, and maybe over time, when this gift wrapping stays and we don't do anything to de-layer or not given to those thoughts, which are illusions, right? We
Yeah.
stop feeling connected to this part. Okay. And over a very short time, we start believing that I don't have that strength. I'm not a strong person. Like I don't have that resilience. I don't have those potentials. Okay, we start believing that, but it's not true. Every effect, every disturbance that we are carrying, then and there see how you can keep releasing it or do something about it. Like I said, using your breath, start with just breathing out those thoughts. If you're feeling a particular energy of an emotion like anger or irritation, start by first releasing and breathing out that energy. It'll at least come down in intensity, even if it doesn't go away, because it may be a little more deep seated for it to just go away, right? And start focusing on what are the thoughts that I'm having. Why am I having those thoughts? Where is it coming from? What's the basis for it? Right? And you'll find a lot of, in fact, the series on mudras that I'm putting up on Instagram, my Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. You know, those who subscribe to the YouTube channel will have all of them there. The week before last, I had put one on anxiety. There's a particular mudra I'd like people to go check it out. It's a very simple way of holding your hand. And when you hold your fingers and hand like this, it has again been proven that your hand and fingers are connected to the brain, which is picking up all that distress. And when there is stress, there are imbalances that are occurring in the brain. You know, it affects our sleep, it affects our moods, it affects so many things. So there are so many tips, there are so many possibilities where immediately you can pick up a little kit for yourself of what to do, starting with your breath, maybe with mudras, so many other things. But look at what is the causal factor for my anxiety. What are the triggers? Okay? And very often 9 out of 10 of those causes and triggers you will find has no basis. It's an illusion. And then you can choose to pump yourself with these kind of thoughts.
Positive.
You know? Yeah. And the word positive is like, you know, I don't know if any one of us gets the word positive because it's been around for so long and we still keep. I replace it with the words as what is working for you. Having a particular thought, is that helping you keep your balance and harmony? Keep that thought. If that's tipping your balance and harmony, just chuck it. You know, it's really not worth it. If I can take just a minute more on this, there's again, I use a lot of diagrams and analogies and stories because our mind remembers it that way rather than giving you, you know, theory or gyan. Look at the way nature has made our face. Okay, there are 2 ears in the same line, right? Because nature knows that a lot we are going to hear in life, which we don't require. And the minute it starts imbalancing your space, idhar se nikalo, like take it all out. Okay? Because people will always say what they want us to hear. Okay, all of it may not be a contribution. Now, some bits of what we hear and what we see, you take it up here and strategize and see what you would like to do about it if there is an imbalance to resolve it. Use the rest of your head, like the mouth and other things, to go communicate, see if you can negotiate, resolve. You tried. If it worked, awesome. If it didn't work, just let it go from here. Just let it go. Okay? Don't carry it. You know, this part of our body is such a beautiful part. It's like a cylinder. And just because it's like a cylinder, it looks like a drain pipe. And because of that, somehow we have picked up that idhar se jo bhi andar lete hain, whatever we've taken from here, we take it down here and go and keep it here in our emotional body or the heart, right? And let's say this part personifies, it's not there. Why do we do that? This part nature has put to actually tell us, hello, this part is separate from this part. Right? You use this part to go experience, create things, do things. Either say whatever you're taking out, you don't have to keep sending it down here and storing it here and going through anguish. Right? So I feel nature has given us so many clues and so many gifts. We just have to just be aware, you know. I wish these were taught in school for us. You know, we would have it at the top of our head and we would just then naturally do. Every time there is an imbalance, we would know what to do to balance it back. There are some things people go through when it is to do with anxiety, which is a little more deep-seated. You know, it may not just go away with just these. And that is when you should take some professional help. Like I said, if anxiety continues for more than 2 weeks, reach out to somebody. very often, if you do have a close friend or family who will just listen to you and is
Yes.
non-judgmental, okay, that will really help.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
can cry, release that energy and charges. I heard a psychiatrist recently on an interview. His name is Dr. Roshan Jain, and he's really amazing. He said there are two outlets to all these too many thoughts, a lot of overwhelming emotion. One is the eyes and one is the mouth. So whether gender, no bar, cry it out. It helps release those charges and energy. It will bring down the intensity, which then is more manageable. Or use your mouth and speak to someone who is non-judgmental, who is not going to throw back advice and suggestions. Because when we reach out to normally family and friends, 8 out of 10 times we will get a whole lot of advice back, which is not what you need at that time. You just need somebody to listen to you, and to listen to you as if they are you, and not listen to you as if they are them. Only then they really get what's happening. And that's the reason why most people prefer a neutral space, which is the therapist or a counselor or someone you trust, who will be an objective person. They have nothing to do with you, they don't know you, and they'll be able to see it for what it is. So those are things which,
I think Yogesh Dev, if he's still watching us, he asked, how do we help people who are depressed? I think this was the answer. Also, I have another live that I went with Aditi a couple of, I think last week, which is about how to be a listener. So you can go check that out.
Yes.
So you know how to be a
Yes.
listener. It's so
Yes.
important.
Yes, and listening is difficult. For most of us, listening is really difficult because when we are listening, our mind is working. It's constantly coming up with stuff. And when there's so much, you will be tempted to say stuff. And it really requires a lot of, okay, let's listen, let's listen. So that's the reason why if you're listening to a person, if I'm listening to Tripti, as if I am Tripti, I will be able to just hear and just be. If I'm going to listen to her as Priya, her friend, then I would want to do, I want to kick your ass right now, and I want to, do that. So many things you want to say, but that's not the time for it. So does that kind of answer?
Yeah, it does. But I would like you to go back to that lovely design of thoughts, emotions, and the happy and the not so happy space.
Yeah, and I will come to the question of the do's and don'ts, of when you're being that person for another. So here is that diagram. And whenever there is any situation happening outside of us, know that there is a much larger picture at play. It's going to be invisible and unconscious, so we will not get the big picture. We will not get the complete picture. But when the first process that starts in our space are thoughts. When they do start happening, depending on what you are choosing, remember that nobody or nothing from outside can do anything to us.
Yeah.
And the way we prove is, can you see me?
Yeah.
Can you see Haripriya? You can only see Haripriya's body. You can't see Haripriya, the human being, right?
Yeah.
So this being that you are is invisible. No one can see you, no one can touch you, no one can do anything to you, right? No matter who's doing what or what's happening outside, it cannot do anything to you. It can only do to your physical body if you're still there or you're allowing it, right? So we are perceiving something, and there is a whole lot of dynamics that are at play within our space, which is actually creating the anguish. Which is actually creating the imbalance or disharmony. It's not what that person said. When that person says something, it's just sound energy coming out of their mouth. But we are doing something with the words. We are buying into things and making it real within us, and now going into the worry, So be aware of what are your thoughts about what you're perceiving or what you're thinking maybe of the past. See what is the basis for you to look at it this way, because it is going to generate these kind of feelings and emotions, not working for you. It is going to it's like a puncture, and your gas and energy is all going to come out. And that person didn't do it, you did. Okay? And it is going to affect your body. It will show up in your behavior, it will affect your performance, and definitely health. Physical, mental, and emotional health. So we have to be aware of it. The cause is not outside. the cause is within, and take it like a game, like a detective game. I always, when I'm working with teenagers, and I work with a lot of teenagers, I always in between say, the new F word in town, and they're like, "Oh, should we be talking about it?" Like, I said, the new F word in town is a 3-letter word, which is fun. It's fun, and we have forgotten that from the time we were so small. I think, and when our physical body grew, I don't know what else happened, that we just forgot this energy. So have fun with everything, even when you're exploring within, even when you're trying to balance something within. Feel like it's a game, you're the detective, and now you're going to explore and have fun with it. So what are these thoughts I'm having? Like, where are they from? Like, what's the basis for it? And wow, isn't that interesting that I'm choosing to have these thoughts and have fun, make fun of yourself, humor literally diffuses charges. And that's when you realize, because let's say something is intense, we need help, we need to manage it. But this is, I call it my lifesaver diagram. This kind of explains how am I causing it and what is it that's the cause for it. And this is going to make me aware not to keep creating crap again and again. We don't overuse the eraser, or you use it once, you use it twice. But I always tell, don't make the same mistake again, go make new ones. Why would you make the same mistake again? Right? So, so when it comes to, what is the question? How do I help another person, or what can I?
We go to that question eventually. I think this kind of answers, but what I want to specifically talk about, yes, anxiety. The other thing is like how Madhuri was talking about. How many of us are creators here or actors? Like I am an actor and a comedian. And we know that artists are the ones who are going to be affected in this pandemic the most, because that's going to be the last priority. That's the last industry that will stand up, and people want free stuff. But if you say free stuff, then how much am I going to do that? Like, how much mileage am I going to pull through with no fuel coming in?
Right.
So see, if you're a writer, things are not working right now. So A, money is an issue. B, work is an issue. So of course you you create little pockets here and there. But how do you deal with so much of like pressure, I'll call it? Like this situation is a little bit of a pressure for people who are artists. So how does one deal with that?
Yeah. So I think no matter whether it's artists, like I have many clients who had to literally shut down their business because they were in the travel industry. They were event management companies. There were families dependent on it, and they knew that they had to just shut it down. Like it's no point waiting. And so it's not just one industry. There are numerous businesses and industries, interestingly, world over, that are taking a hit. And it's interesting how COVID has very quietly and silently maybe teaching us things we have never looked at or focused on what is really important. So 4 things I normally say, and I'm answering this a little ghoomke, because there is everybody knows a direct answer to it. Like it's not that any one of us can do anything about it. We have to face it. Right? So this ghoomke way hopefully is to equip you to face it. Right? There are 2 events of life which are the ones that are sure, which is birth and death. Right? If you actually look behind everything, we are just doing time pass from birth to death. Right? And in that time pass, isn't that true? When our body wakes up in the morning till the body goes to sleep, we are actually doing only time pass. I want to take away the severity and gravity about, how everything has been conditioned. Ki aisa hai, successful hona hai, itna paisa chahiye, if you don't have this decent house. There's so much that we have gone through being conditioned that somewhere we have lost the whole gist of the simplicity of life. It's interesting that we are called the human race, and I always wonder, where are we running? Like, what is this race about? Why are we even called a race? Because we seem to be living it. There's always a running. You finish with one goal, there's another goal ready, or you want another goal. Where is the end? And it's very fascinating how this whole phenomenon called COVID, and whatever that is, is maybe this imbalance we've been going on for a long time, and it's been trying to say stop, stop. Nature has been trying to say stop, stop, but I don't think we heard it, and then nature just said, okay, shut down. Abhi, sit down and without doing anything, now listen and get your priorities and get what is really the reason why you're here, in place. So I think it's very beautiful. I've been watching it. I've been, learning a lot from that. So in this time pass that we do from birth to death, we all make choices. What I want to tell people is, especially if you're an adult that is 18 or 21 years, filter those thoughts and pressures that you have picked up, expectations you have picked up, which are coming from conditioning, which are not yours. Like, very often I've got adult daughters, they are, happy creating their lives, they're 24 and 28. And very often my friends ask me, aren't you worried? And I would say, about what? Oh, they're not yet married. I said, yeah, so they're living their lives. And I said, but don't you have any expectations, like your expectations, like your things? I said, my expectations are fulfilled because I have two expectations from their lives, that they should be happy and they should be healthy. And they are both. They're happy doing whatever they're doing and creating and, experiencing, and they're healthy. So be connected with what is really important. Be connected with why the heck did I really come here to this stadium called Earth, playing this very fascinating game, which none of us have yet figured out, called life. Right? This time pass that we are doing, we have made certain choices in the past. From now onwards, my invitation is filter out and throw out whatever the conditioning, perceptions of others, expectations of others. We have been told definitions for success and being productive and all kinds of things. At 30, you should have achieved this and done this and been this. Chuck all that out. Sit and look at what is important for your journey till we reach the other pillar, which is death, which is just going back home. Okay, I don't see birth as a celebration and death as not a celebration. Both are celebrations. One we come here and the other one we just go back home. We have made certain choices and they have created certain consequences and effects. When today we look at the choices made from the past, what am I still carrying as the consequences? See which ones have started becoming like burdens for you. Which ones, if you really ask your heart, which ones do you really, if you had a choice, want to chuck and don't want to do? Okay. There are some choices which come with a sense of responsibility. So whether we made those choices from a space of awareness or lack of awareness, well, we have that. So when we can't just chuck some of those choices, we have to find another way if they have become burdensome or if they're not interesting or joyful or, like I said, the new F word, fun anymore. Find another way of doing it or handling whatever the responsibilities, which are there, that's still catered to, and then I can make a change. Okay. Money is a very interesting energy. This reality has made a lot of significance about. Okay. Finally, you require a roof. Have you noticed we all of us, I'm sure every person who is right now on the call is already living in abundance. You have way more food in your house right now than you can eat or you require. You have way more clothes than you can wear. You have more than anything. At least the ones watching Insta Live really belong to that category. Yeah. There are people out there who don't. Yeah. So it's very important to check our pursuit. Why am I pursuing these aspects of my work? What is it that's giving me? Are these the only avenues for money? Money is just an energy. It can actually come to you if you're willing to receive it. Right? So are there other ways in which I can kind of have that? What is the management of this energy? Like, I think this is such a beautiful learning class, of this situation where when we have had so much of surplus of that energy called money, what have we done to it? How have we managed it? Did we kind of put away even a farmer puts away stuff for a time when he won't have rains or, when it won't be possible to produce. I mean, it's just there ingrained in them. So there are so many things we haven't looked at which were actually important.
Yeah.
And we have assumed certain things which we felt were important and insignificant. And now we need to see there are other people's dreams, there are other people's pressures. I don't need to pick it up. I don't need to live those. So when you filter these out, you will start seeing what is your requirements? What are your goals? Like, what is it that priority is keeping your balance and harmony? It's worth pursuing these. It's worth pursuing the wantings that we have. I don't find any issue in having desires, longings. Yeah, we can dream and desire, and that's natural being human. What is the journey to fulfilling that? If any part of that journey has tipped and taken a toll on you, sorry, that's dishonoring to yourself. It's disrespectful. We can have that. Maybe there's a time frame. It's okay that if the time frame is lengthened, and it's fine. Okay, because this pillar of the event of going back home, it's there. We're not going to die earlier than whatever time we have written, or we're not going to disintegrate. There are times where from scratch we have built what we have today. Right? If today some of us feel, oh my God, everything has gone back to scratch and now I have to start again, yes, start again. Like I feel you're doing such a wonderful job of, since you don't have work, you're using the resources that you have of your time and energy and your awareness to create so much, and in the whole thing contribute. And I'm sure this is creating, building your brand, having more people get to know you, so that when things open, this is just a phase, and it is. If it's going to take 1 year, 2 years, it is going to pass like everything in life. Whatever is happening, and this will also pass. And when it passes, what are we doing now? What can we do now? So that when the time passes, it's maybe going to create greater. It's going to, create whatever it is that we will desire. Maybe this time, even though it looks at as diminishing, I'm doing less, I'm getting less, I'm actually don't have income. There are certain harsh choices we may have to make in times like this, of letting go of certain habits and letting go of certain things I could indulge in and not, right? Yeah, we will have to make those harsh decisions. And I still come back to this diagram. I still come back to the fact and check with yourself, who do you think you are? And there's another cute diagram. This is actually one of my favorite ones. And it doesn't need, the mirror image will not mess with it. So when you're going through any difficulty, check, do you feel like the small circle and your problem or challenge is a big circle? Very often it does seem like that, because we are putting thoughts in our head saying, oh my God, this is too much for me to handle. I don't know where, I don't know what will happen. There's nothing that can be done about it. All these, check again. What kind of thoughts are there? You're cooking it up. You're assuming, you're presuming it's not true. But if we were to say, you know what? I am this. I have resources. I have potential. Let's see, with now nothing, what can I create? And you will start seeing that your problem or challenge will just start diminishing. Okay? These are all just choices we have. If this amazing team we have of our mind, heart, the mental body, the emotional body, energy body, physical body, depending on what we are focusing on, our entire team will assist us come up with ideas, give us the energy to go behind it. But it's very important for us to see, what am I choosing to focus on, this or this? What is the attitude I'm choosing to have? Okay, I'm going to be on top of this. Okay, going back to that acronym FEAR, the third expansion of that I left is face everything and rise. Okay, face it. Yeah, there's deprivation, there's something, I will have to do a juggle. It will be tough, it will be harsh. Yeah, but I'm going to face it. And I'm going to face it and also do the effort. Have fun with it. And rise. Right? And rise and be on top of it, man. I'm not going to let the big circle sit on top of me. I'm going to be the big circle. Okay? So I don't have direct solutions to work and money, but I'm equipping and empowering you, in the attempt of equipping and empowering you with what are the inner dynamics you can play with. or choose to operate from.
Yeah.
And you know, when your energy out there is, I'm going to be on top of it, I'm not going to leave any stone unturned, I'm going to get the better of it. It's amazing how nature will reciprocate that energy.
It does.
Things will just pop up. I have come across, when I'm talking to my clients, there are people getting jobs even in times like this. So when people tell me there are no jobs, I say, I'm sorry, that's not true. But that never say die attitude of certain people or whatever the magic they do, it's amazing how us kone se it will just come to them.
Yeah.
So these are choices we have.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope
Also,
that.
I would like you to please, because there are now everybody, it's a vicious circle now, like I'm anxious, then you are anxious, then I'm anxious, and it's that ping pong ball going around. So yes, I would want people to understand and listen to me, but what if there is somebody around me? How do I
Yeah.
assist that person to, 'cause it's not easy. I
Yeah.
cannot ask somebody,
Yeah.
I can't say you are depressed, go
Yeah.
check
Yeah.
Sanctuary of Life. So how do you
Right.
kind of slowly turn that river towards having
Yeah,
fun?
yeah. That's beautiful that you brought it up because, of course, now we don't hang out with our friends and all so much, but when we were, and I'm sure we're going to soon, so many times a person who is battling with stuff within, and it very often leads to depression, is right in front of us, and we fail to recognize that, because for us, oh, ye Rohit hai, Rohit hai, Rohit, every day looks like this. So, we miss those subtle, when they are not interacting, they're not interested, it shows on the face, and we just say, what's the problem? Like, kya hua? Like, you're normally not like this, don't behave like this. We dismiss it. So, phrases like, don't behave like this, or this is not you, those will literally shut that person more. So when we are observing, observe through our, eyes, make a note, and try to use that time without using this part of our head, and gather more information. Like watch him for 2-3 days, or watch her for a few days, and you're watching a consistency of lack of interest, or kind of like a withdrawal, and then you'll reach the person will reach a space where they're not even putting any efforts, like not even putting an effort to make a change in the way they are choosing to think or perspective, nothing, they're not even, that's like the danger zone, that's when, so whether it's physically there, and because of social media now we are just a message away, even through messages, sometimes when we are messaging and we are not getting the response back, there may be something amiss. So even just leaving messages, or if it is face to face, just saying, how are you doing, and know that I'm there for anything. If there's anything, you can talk to me, and I promise not to lecture or give you advice, I will just be there for you. Those kind of little words initially, and they have to be very gently approached. Like you rightly said, we can't just say, "Arey yaar, you're very depressed today, kya hua?" That's going to like shut them into the back room.
Yeah.
Even if people are comfortable with physical touch, like if your friend is there, and just that pat on the shoulder, or just holding that hand, sometimes physical touch itself is so therapeutic. Even if we can't help that person, just knowing that there's another person, another human being there. And sometimes, when you see a person not knowing what they're going through, when we start sharing, nowadays I've been a little distressed about some things, and when you start sharing some things, it makes it comfortable for that person now to share,
To open up.
when they are speaking something and we are just listening, and you're not interrupting, you're not giving advice, you're not giving suggestions, and in fact you're using door openers, of, okay, tell me more. So what other thoughts come up like that? I get it, I understand, like I go through those crazy times, so what's really happening now? What are the other thoughts? How does that make you feel? So when you're going into, these are called door openers, the ask mode, about the thoughts and feelings. And it's more so with the male gender, because we women, whether somebody asks us or not, we will talk and share things. But for men, it's very challenging, because their conditioning tells them that it's a sign of weakness if you talk about what is bothering you and you're not able to handle it, or what. And no, I don't believe in this concept of weak and strong. I believe that everyone has bought all the strength. S stands for soul, S stands for strength. Everyone carries that energy of strength.
Yeah.
The choice or the difference is some are choosing to use it, some are choosing not to use it. For whatever reason, there's no judgment there. And some have gift wrapped it so much that they've forgotten that they're carrying it.
Right.
They don't believe or realize that they're carrying it. It is there within each one of us.
Yeah.
In today's time, sharing, crying about it is not a sign of weakness. I think conditioning has been there for long, but this generation is a very aware generation. It stands up to bullshit. And it's high time we stood up to these stupid conditioning of gender bias to do with, I mean, a man's body will not have tear glands if he was not meant to cry. So it is just a social, socially created bias or a conditioning which has no basis again. I think it's an illusion. So as long as we are able to, see this family member or friend in whatever version they are going to show themselves to, and not judge it or react to it. If it's a man, he's crying, let him cry. He's very strong to actually have the guts to cry in front of somebody, according to the social thing. Right? You need guts to cry. So if we can be that kind of space for another person, we have a 70-30 rule. As professionals, 70% you listen, and 30%, when you give the timely inputs. It's not that you have to say something for everything that's said. Sometimes a person just wants to be heard. Sometimes we don't have a response to what that person says or asks. And it's just that, yeah, I hear you, I get you. That must be really challenging. That's very overwhelming for you. So if we are able to respond with acknowledgements, wow, that you have your hands full. Like, you're really being so strong dealing with all these things. Are you aware? Are you acknowledging how much strength it requires for all this? You're not saying anything back to what they said, but you're giving those kind of verbal support, acknowledgement, that the person feels heard. Every time, it's not that they want you to help them. They don't want you to help them because they know, how can you help me? But just being heard, having an avenue where they can unburden. So venting and unburdening is a very important part of diffusing this intensity and charges for anxiety or depression or whatever we are going through. So if we can be that kind of a person, it is very challenging sometimes to be that for a family or for a friend, because there are so many other things that are coming up in your head. You want to say that, but you will have to, if you choose to be that person, you will have to put that aside. Trust your awareness. Sometimes it is just sitting next to that person, maybe holding their hand, maybe not, because not everybody likes their hand to be held or touched when they're going through this. Sometimes they don't want to be touched. So be very sensitive to all those little clues that you get from that person. And even when we are feeling sad or we are feeling anxious, like I shared earlier, it's a very normal human emotion. It's okay to feel sad. It's natural to feel sad. But when that prolongs for a period of time and the intensity and charges become more, that's when we have to look at, okay, it's okay for me to feel sad. Like you said, sometimes I like to wallow in my sadness. However, it's not tipping my balance and harmony. That's fine. It's an experience we are experiencing. But when it is tipping our balance and harmony, it's coming in the way of our functioning. Then we have to, starting with us, we have to look at, why am I choosing to give into this? What is the benefit I'm getting by this? Can that benefit be got from something else which may be more beneficial, harmonious, won't tip my balance, won't interfere with my functioning? Can I replace that benefit with something else that can give me? So these are things we can, and if we feel I'm not able to do this on my own, we reach out to somebody. We all reach out to somebody for so many things in our life. How different, or why is this any less or more? Arey yaar, please mere ko help kar de iska, and then this. No, it's so easy for us actually to reach out to help. So it's just these conditioning and these beliefs we have picked up. Every one of us has reached out for help in so many ways in our past. You don't have to prove to anybody anything. That's again a very strong conditioning we have picked up. that I have to prove that I'm successful, I prove that I'm strong, I prove that I can handle any challenge in life. Arey, beginning se end tak time pass kar rahe ho. That's it.
Yeah.
हम prove करने के लिए नहीं आए इधर. You know, we have not taken on anything like this that I have to prove. These are all conditioning we have bought into. You know, we have made it real in our head. It's not. We don't have to prove anything to ourselves. We don't have to prove anything to anybody. The best thing you can do to yourself is go through your journey and at every moment see if your balance and harmony is maintained. Every time it's tipped, because it's very boring going through life turning straight and being balanced. Yeah, let it imbalance, you know, have fun with it. Just make sure that at some time you are able to bring that balance so that you can function, and never let the joy factor and the F word get messed up. Okay?
Yeah.
The fun and the joy, even when you're dealing with crap, have fun with it. Have fun with the craziest challenge actually it's so much fun. And when I work with my teenagers, they do it much faster, you know, than people like us. Then I say, okay, I have to deal with this and I have to deal with the bullying. I have to take care. From tomorrow on, I'm just going to have fun with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And for me, even though he's paraphrasing or she's paraphrasing what I just shared, the energy with which they just take it and turn it around, and now they have equipped themselves, now they go, I get goosebumps and I'm looking at my jaw literally drop saying, oh my God, now this one is unleashing itself out into the world, you know. So if you turn anything and you choose that I'm going to have fun with this now, I'm going to enjoy this crazy challenge which I don't even know how to resolve, but I'm going to enjoy it. Once you just make that choice, your mind, your heart, your, you know, brain coming up with ideas to do that, your entire team comes together to move forward that way. And it's magical how nature responds to that. Yeah. Just a choice. Another diagram I love is this. Science says everything is energy, right? Science tells us that this seems to be the shape of energy, and we kind of believe it. And so if everything in life is energy, let's see this as the shape of life, right? Now, why do we call this part up and this part down? Because the minute we say up, the ups of life, or, you know, the times are up, there's a very different thought process we'll engage in. There are different feelings that we go through, which make us operate in a particular way, feel in a particular way. But when we start looking at this part and calling it down, there's a whole different thought process that goes into place. It makes us feel very differently, which is not something maybe we would like it. So what I invite people to do is, since we can't change the shape of energy, just turn it around.
Turn it around.
and look at energy like this. Sometimes life goes this way, and sometimes it goes this way, and sometimes it goes this. Abhi kya farak hai this way or that way? Have you noticed the minute you say, and that's why I'm coming back to my lifesaver diagram, the minute, this is a neutral thought, right? Yeah. The minute you say, and life is now going this way, and after some time it'll now start going that way, have you noticed it's not changing our energy, it's not changing our feelings, it's not putting us into some thought process that we have to do something about. And that's again another simplicity of life. You know, why don't we just simplify things? And there are loads of this that keeps coming up. You know, when I get to work with people, all these fundu things keep coming out. It's beautiful. I think these are all downloads from nature, telling you, hello, just rechange and reset and delete button and reset buttons are very important. Just do that and go on with your life.
Also,
you know, absolutely. You know, that, and to wind up in the same note as when we started, anything to do with our mental and emotional health is just as simple and normal as physical health.
Yes.
Right? No situation that we get into, acute anxiety, acute depression, suicidal, there is no situation where a person cannot get back to being totally okay. You know, even the other day when I was listening to Dr. Roshan Jain's interview, he said the same thing. There's no clinical depression that cannot be cured. There's nothing. The dangerous thing is when you do not do anything about it. You don't reach out for help. You don't address it. If you're not doing anything about something that's happening, which is really grave, which is very intense, that is the dangerous part.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that candle analogy is very, very beautiful. Even when sometimes you can see that a person is not able to take that step and reach out for help, we can take that step saying, I'm just here with you. You want to
Yeah.
talk, and you start sharing and they will, and that bit.
Yes,
Okay.
it was a fantastic journey for me, and I'm sure it
Me
would be for
too.
you too. And yay, keep writing to us. Follow Soul Sanctuary of Life, SOL Soul, and see you
Thank you
soon.
so much. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.